Hello. We'll try to understand few points with respect to one disease known as hemolytic uremic syndrome. Hemolytic uremic syndrome. It is actually acute hemolysis associated with the non-immune pathology. So there is a non-immune associated acute hemolysis, that is the pathology. So what happens actually in this case, that there will be prior history of Shigella infection. Shigella infection. Shigella infection leading to Shigella-like toxin release. Leading to Shigella-like toxin release. So do all Shigelloses get infection? No. So again associated with typical, so 5%. So yes and 5%. So 5% of the Shigellosis patients typically get this hemolytic uremic syndrome. Then, so hemolytic uremic syndrome, again in 95% of the cases, Shigella is the responsible. So remaining 5% of the cases, again 5% of the cases, it is streptococcal infection. Streptococcal infection. So in streptococcal infection, it is neuraminidase. Neuraminidase is the responsible, and Shigellosis, it is Shigella-like toxin is responsible. So what these will do, that after streptococcal infection and Shigellosis infection, so typically the time period is again 5 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. For the sake of remembrance, you can remember this letter, that 5 weeks can be remembered. It's actually 2 to 4 weeks. So what happens, that after the episode of one Shigellosis or streptococcal infection due to neuraminidase toxin, or here Shigella-like toxin, so small vessels, again with the yes, small vessels are affected. Small vessels of where? Small vessels of kidney or brain. Kidney or brain. So if brain is affected, it is known as TTP, that is thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. But with respect to HUS, it is actually kidneys are affected. So small vessels of the kidneys are affected. So what actually happens? So here are the small vessels of the kidney. When small vessels of the kidneys are affected, there is a damage to the endothelium. Whenever there is a damage to the endothelium, what happens? The subendothelial matrix exposed to the blood lumen. So whenever the subendothelial matrix is exposed, what happens? There is a big molecule called as von Willebrand factor. So whenever there is a von Willebrand factor is present, and it attaches many platelets along with it. So there is a platelets are accumulated inside the small vessels, leading to thrombocytopenia. This thrombocytopenia will lead to a bleeding episode. So if platelets reduce less than 20,000, that will lead to frank bleeding episode. Less than 30,000, it is associated with the after any injury, that will lead to a bleeding episode. So this thrombocytopenia is a feature of hemolytic uremic syndrome. Along with that, whenever these small vessels are there, so RBCs, so whenever one or two RBCs tries to go here, tries to pass through these small vessels, what happens? So already the vessel is small. Here, in the small vessel, there is a formation of a platelet plug. So when platelet plug is there, and this RBC wants to squeeze through it, but it can't go through. So that led to hemolysis. Leading to schistocytes. Again, yes, schistocytes. Where the schistocytes will be seen? In the peripheral smear. So schistocytes, nothing but a fragmented RBCs. RBC fragmentation. So this procedure, that is thrombocytopenia, because of platelet plug, multiple platelet plugs leading to thrombocytopenia, and RBCs can't go through them, leading to small vessel occlusion. This small vessel occlusion again leads to one more important clinical feature, that is associated with the H, that is hypertension. So not regular hypertension, it is a hypertensive emergency in the patient. Why hypertension? Because small vessels are occluded. Why small vessels are occluded? Because there is an endothelial injury by Shigella-like toxin, leading to platelet consumption. That leads to thrombocytopenia. So this small vessel occlusion again leads to RBC fragmentation. This RBC fragmentation leads to typical schistocytes in the peripheral smear. Along with that, when RBCs here are fragmented, that leads to hemolytic episodes. Again, H. Hemolytic episodes. So this hemolysis is a acute hemolysis. Acute hemolysis. So here there are nothing, means immune complex. Here pathology is not seen. So it's a non-immune mediated acute hemolysis. Non-immune mediated acute hemolysis. Since it is a non-immune mediated hemolysis, what will be the typical feature? It will be Coombs negative. So Coombs test will be negative here. Coombs test will be negative here. So these letters, we remember a few pathology that there was a Shigella infection or a streptococcal infection because of the release of the neuraminidase toxin or Shigella-like toxin. What happened that after 2 to 4 weeks, or for the sake of remembrance, we can remember that this figure, yes, nothing but 5. So after 2 to 4 weeks, these toxins started attacking small vessels of the kidney. Yes, small vessels of the kidney. So when small vessels of the kidneys are affected, what will be the next phase? That there is a platelet plug will be found because of big von Willebrand factor. So when von Willebrand factor attracts many platelets leading to thrombocytopenia, this thrombocytopenia plugs, what they do, when RBC squeeze through it, there will be RBC fragmentation leading to peripheral smear showing the cystocytes. Yes for cystocytes, yes for small vessels, and 2 to 4 weeks, and yes for streptococcal infection, again yes for Shigella-like toxin. One more thing we can remember here is that what is the typical age group in which this type of thing is 5 years, less than 5 years of age group, less than 5 years. So this is actually infantile, so sorry, children variant. So small children are affected. Again we can remember this, yes, that small children of less than 5 years are the typical patients. Typical patients. There is an adult variant also. It's known as atypical HUS. What is that? We'll come to it now. So small children less than 5 years with this typical history coming to you with the acute hemolytic episode. So after the acute hemolysis, which is non-immune mediated with Coombs negative. So acute hemolysis means what? 3 things again. It may be due to immune mediated or non-immune mediated. Here it is a non-immune mediated. So this non-immune mediated with Coombs negative pathology with thrombocytopenia and cystocytes along with the hypertensive emergency. So the presentation of HUS can be 2 types. One, it can be in the form of acute hypertensive emergency episode or a acute hemolysis episode. So acute hemolysis or acute hypertension with this type of pathology, nothing but a hemolytic uremic syndrome. The children variety, nothing but a small children in which it is seen, it is having a good prognosis and treatment is not that complex. So simple supportive care is enough. But what happens in adult variant? In adult variant, this H, that is there might be a factor H mutation. Factor H mutation. Factor H mutation is nothing but a genetic cause, and this is the most common. Most commonly there will be factor H mutation. This factor H mutation is in alternate complement pathway. So alternate complement pathway, so there is a activation of alternate complement pathway because of factor H mutation. So when this alternate complement pathway is affected, there is a formation of C5 to C9 complexes of complement pathways. What they do, they start attacking the RBCs, that is the pathology. So this is the most common, and this adult variant, the treatment of therapy is PLEX, that is plasma exchange. So steroids are usually not used in most of the cases, except in factor H mutation, steroids are indicated. H for yes, again steroids are indicated here. Steroids are indicated here. Then what are the other causes for it? Other causes are, there can be drugs can be the cause. So again, to remember the drugs, simple technique we can use that this yes spell can be used. Yes, C, sir. So 2 drugs we can remember that is cisplatin and cyclosporine. Cisplatin and cyclosporine. So what are the other causes again in the adult type? There are many causes are there. We can remember few. Very important are there. Those are again starting with the H, that is HIV, HELLP syndrome, starting with the S, that is SLE. So these are the few important causes, that is HIV, HELLP syndrome, and SLE, cisplatin, cyclosporine, cisplatin and cyclosporine. So these are the few points we need to remember. Nothing conceptual, but few points we need to know with respect to HUS. There are two varieties. One is seen in children, one is seen in adults. Adults have very bad prognosis. So it presents as hypertensive emergency. The therapy of choice is PLEX, except in factor H mutation where steroids can be used. So, thank you.